Hey everyone, it's Matsukaga, or Kaga voiceover as I'm known on this channel. Hope you guys are having a good day. I know I haven't posted in a couple of days. It's mainly because I've started work and it's been really hard to find time to. But again, hope you have enjoyed the videos I've posted. We're doing another Betrayed to Hell and Back video because those seem to do very well. And it's a very, very long story as it is 27 chapters. So I really do hope you enjoy. We're also going to be posting a video on my gaming channel, Matsukaiga. We're gonna start a hardcore Let's Play, mainly because it's Minecraft, it's easy. And then we're gonna swap over because one of my friends is starting an SMP. Don't worry, it's not only gonna be Minecraft, it's going to be more, there's definitely gonna be more different types of games. Maybe I'm hoping to do a Red Dead 2 Let's Play and swoop it up with the Minecraft because I don't want to be known just as a Minecraft YouTuber. Not there's anything wrong with Minecraft YouTubers. But again, if you do enjoy my content, a like, subscribe, it means the world means the world. And just one more thing. I made this channel 2 weeks ago, posted 5 videos, and we're already at 60 subscribers with one of my videos breaking 1,000 views. I would just like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You don't know how much this means to me. I thought this would be a joke. I didn't think anyone would enjoy my content, but seeing you guys come in makes me feel really good. So, yeah, that's all. Let's get straight to the story. Chapter 7, New Recruit. As the trio entered the familiar forest, they were met with what they were expecting. A forest with familiars, as far as the eye could see. Now they just needed to find out where the Chaos Karma Dragon resided. They were quickly ripped away abruptly from their thoughts when a new voice spoke above them. "Who are you? Why are you here?" It was a male voice. The three of them turned around to see a man in a white tank top with a yellow double-strapped backpack on his back. He had a hat with red hair poking out of the front, as well as this was Zataji, the familiar master. "We have no quarrel with you, familiar master. We are only here to recruit the Chaos Karma Dragon Tiamat," Issei spoke aloud. Zatoji got a shocked expression real fast. In his mind, he didn't think anyone would be foolish enough to recruit the Dragon King Tiamat. Most of the people who tried before to get to her as a familiar were turned to ash if they couldn't handle their own against her in a fight. "Who are you so foolish enough to dare trying to recruit the Dragon King?" Zatuiji asked cautiously. Right, I don't know if I'm saying that name right. If I'm not, I'm sorry. "This is for me to know and you to find out. Just point us in direction. Point us in the direction which she resides. I don't want to have to force it out of you," Issei said. He raised his energy a little bit to prove his point. Seeing a sweat drop in the familiar master's head, Issei made a smirk. The tactic of intimidation could work wonders on the right people. "Very well, just try to keep the destruction to a minimum. You'll find her in a cave at the edge of the forest in that direction," Zatuiji said while pointing. "Is that Ouiji? I don't know." "Thank you, we will be quick and leave," Issei said respectfully. And so the three of them walked off in the direction they were told to go. Soon a conversation started to brew between them. "When the fight starts, which it will because the dragons are a race of pride, she will not easily submit to me. You three better stay on the sidelines since there will be a lot of power being thrown around. A dragon king versus a dragon god will cause a lot of damage to the nearby areas," Issei spoke. "Right," Donosuke responded. "What about our living arrangements? What might get her on our side? I doubt she will like the idea of living in an abandoned church that well," Kawainer added. "You're right, Kawainer. She will not like it very well," Rainer added. "You guys are right, so that's why I'm going to ask someone to help us out," Issei spoke. "Who do you have in mind?" Rainer asked, confused. You could say she's a friend. Well, maybe not, but I believe she will help us, Issei responded vaguely. She, Rainier asked. She was a little jealous that so many girls were about to enter their lives. Yes, there will obviously be a harem, Rainier. You'll need to learn how to share Ray, like how Rainier said, Issei replied. Ugh, fine, Rainier huffed. So the three of them continued continued on in that direction towards their goal. Scene break. The Underworld. Far away where the group currently was, the Underworld was in chaos. News traveled fast of Issei's return, and now the councils of elders that included the three great Satans due to Sir Zek's injuries, and the heads of the remaining 33 clans were having a meeting of what they could do. They were arrogant and snotty, thinking they stood a chance of defeating a new dragon god, when in reality he could wipe him off the face of the earth with ease. He needs to be punished, screamed one of the elders. What chance could we possibly have against a monster of that magnitude? If it is true that Bahamut has chosen him, it would be futile to anger him even more. We must approach with caution, shouted another elder. He still needs to be dealt with, shouted back the elder. What do you expect us to do? His power is far outclassed. Sir Zex Lucifer was taken down with ease, another elder argued. Silence! Shouted a new voice. It was female. I can't do female voices. I'm sorry. They turned. This turned out to be none other than Seraphal Leviathan. She was very upset at the news of Issei's return. What you say is true, though we still must do something to counter him the best we can. The three factions are at a time of peace, for the better. The Chaos Brigade has appeared, and we must unite under these conditions to be able to stand a chance. Azazel has locked the Grigori down. Michael and the Seraphs are waiting for Issei to confront them. Seraphal argued. Still his power is tops even the Great Red, argued another elder. Ever heard of a saying, the enemy of my enemy is a friend? Seraphal said with a grin. Scene break. Grigori. The Grigori was in chaos as well, just as Seraphal has said. Azazel had completely locked down with guards at every point, no one in or out. Azazel thought he was safe, but he didn't know Issei would plow through all of them like they were cannon fodder. Azazel sat down in his office, two bodyguards at the door. He thought he was safe from Issei's wrath, but boy was he wrong. Suddenly the door burst open with a Grigori soldier coming in with a folder, most likely all the information they could gather about Issei's new abilities. Azazel, sir, the information you requested, the soldier said. Thank you. You can return to your post now, Azazel replied. If Bahamut has truly chosen Issei as his next host, along with the boosted gear, he is now a force to be reckoned with. But he was dead. How did he possibly come back to life, then? Azazel wondered. Confused. Maybe the Will of Souls, Azazel thought. It can't be. Hades is supposed to have it under constant guard with the best of his men, Azazel thought, perplexed. Azazel then called for one of his subordinates to come fast. What do you need, Azazel-sama? The subordinate asked, confused. Make contact with Hades, the god of the dead, and ask him the state of the Will of Souls, Azazel spoke. Yes, sir, the subordinate replied. Soon the subordinate left, and then Azazel turned his attention to a new problem that he was having trouble figuring it out. The fallen angels that were with Issei, how were their energy signatures completely different from regular fallen angels? What? Could it possibly be they went under? Could it possibly that they went under a transformation that turned them into dragons? If so, just how powerful could they be now? Azazel thought, confused once again. There were so many questions that he had that were unanswered. He didn't know most of the things that were currently going on and what the next move would be. But he knew that the world would never be the same. Scene break. Familiar forest. Issei and his group are still on their way towards Tiamat Cave. After about 10 minutes of walking, they finally came across a clearing where they could see a cave carved into the side of the mountain off in the distance. In Issei's mind, there was no doubt that was where Tiamat resided. Okay, I believe that cave. I believe that cave is it, Issei said. Fits the description of the that the familiar master gave us. Looks big enough to hold a dragon, Cowiner added.
Not to mention the lack of familiars in this area. Survival of the fittest shows them who their alpha. Shows them who the alpha is, Donisic said. True, most of them got scared, ran, and hid. Inair added. Here we go, Issei spoke as he walked forward. I suggest you guys find a place to watch the fight, as it'll be good, Issei said. Issei smirked. So the three of them fell back to watch Issei as he continued on towards the cave. Any ideas of what to expect, guys? Issei asked the dragons in his head. Even if you are a dragon god, Issei, she is still a dragon king. It will be a real fight. Since you used the sphere of annihilation on the barrier made for Ophis, you will need to recharge your energy a bit before you can release another one. Energy is not a constant thing in the world. It has and will always be a factor in a fight. Even so, you won't be completely outclassed, Bahamut explained. He's right, partner. Energy is a huge factor in a fight. For now, you should be able to get by with Balance Breaker, Dreg added. Okay, then, Issei thought. It is time after your transformation. In time after your transformation to a real dragon god ends, you will be able to handle more without serious repercussions, Bahamut explained. So Issei walked forward with a plan in his head and a goal in mind. He knew that it would not be a one-hit knockout fight. No, it would be a true fight. After all, Tiamat wasn't a Dragon King for nothing. As he neared towards the entrance of the cave, he stopped for a second, trying to sense anyone in the area. The only signatures he could feel were those from his group in one signature deep in the cave, and it was a powerful and potent one at that. So he went deeper into the cave to find her. As soon as he stepped in the cave, he knew this was the place. He could hear rumbling sounds deep in the cave, so he trekked onwards deeper into it. Before he could get any deeper, he suddenly stopped as he felt the pressure increase by a lot very quickly. He instinctively put up his guard at the fact he was wandering into a dragon's den without knowing. He was suddenly brought out of his thoughts abruptly when he heard a deep growl followed by a deep feminine voice. Who dares enter my cave? The Tiamat growled angrily. Tiamat, the Chaos Karma Dragon, I presume, Issei said with a smirk. Who are you, boy? Do you have a death wish? Snarled Tiamat. My name is Issei Kyoto, and I came here for a friendly chat. Now that annoyed Tiamat greatly. Before Issei knew it, he was hit by a large blue barbed tail, sending him flying out of the cave, Tiamat following him out. The group outside was extremely surprised when they saw Issei flying out of the cave, head first, slamming into the ground. Issei! They all shouted. They were shocked to see as a huge blue western dragon flew out of the cave and circled above them, hovering. I suggest you take that idiot and leave before I roast you all to ashes, Tiamat shouted. The three of them were shocked senseless, trembling in fear. They didn't move an inch. They thought Issei was out cold. That was until they heard a chuckle followed by a whir of laughter coming out from no other than Issei Kyoto. Ah, that was a good one, Tiamat. But I think it's time for me to get serious, Issei said. Boy, what chance do you possibly think you have of winning a fight with me? Oh, nothing except a few tricks up my sleeve, Issei quipped back at the dragon. That's when a deafening call was heard across the forest, heating all nearby vicinity to witness the commanding power it once had. Boost! The gauntlet called out. That very command that was echoed throughout the forest sent Tiamat over the edge, charging forward in a fury as she aimed for the host of Dreg. Dreg! Tiamat roared in fury. Jesus, Dreg, you weren't caring. She hates your guts, Issei thought. No doubt if you recruit her, she'll definitely be trying to bang your brains out. Drake snorted. Issei quickly dodged a blue fireball that was thrown fast at him. He looked at the side of him to see the grass burnt to a crisp. Can't be hit by that fire. Even if I'm a dragon, it will still hurt like a bitch, Issei thought. Then he ran under her, trying to redirect her attacks. He took this moment to launch a counterattack. Dragon shot! Punching the ball of energy, he sent a shot hurtling towards the Dragon King, forcing her to dodge quickly as the shot scratched the surface of her wings. Damn you, Tiamat roared in fury as she charged head on towards Issei, landing a direct blow onto him. She neared him as, with her claws outstretched, aimed directly at him. She slashed and swung and hit him at him a few times, but he saw this coming. Put 10 boosts into my legs for a speed boost, Issei spoke and said. Right, Drag replied. Boost times 10! Now that surprised everyone. They knew he was serious. Even Tiamat halted mid-air to look at what changed in the boy. She was shocked when he released his wings. So was his group due to the fact they had never seen his wings before. But Tiamat focused on something else behind the wings, the color of it. Even if she was a dragon king, she knew what those colors were. Every dragon had heard the myth around revolving the annihilation dragon god donning gray and blood-red wings, which was what Issei's were exactly like. She gulped as she got a very, very bad feeling. Boost times 5. Yes. Yep, a very bad feeling indeed. She had a big feeling of dread coming on. She knew what it was, but she didn't dare to say its name, for no one had more power than the monster of a dragon, and with 2 words uttered by Issei would send her feelings overboard. Balance break! Issei. Balance break, Issei spoke, clear as water for the whole world to hear. Welsh dragon balance breaker, chanted the gauntlet. A bright crimson light filled up the forest, blinding everyone around it, as it began to condense into a sphere of energy whirling around Issei. Glowing with power, everyone could tell this was a huge power-up. Tiamat quickly regretted antagonizing this beast of a dragon. As the light died down, Issei was in a scale mail, but it was different. Not the design, but the pressure he was giving off was higher than normal, and his power increased too. Dragon shot! Tiamat barely missed that shot as it was fired, banking and diving. Banking right and diving was the only way she did. As she watched the shot go towards the mountains where her cave was, she feared the worst. As the shot neared the mountain, it continued following, no signs of stopping or dissipating. Once it struck the mountain, the results were astonishing. The dragon shark took out half the mountain, and with it, Tiamat's cave. She shuddered as she saw the explosion take out half the mountain with it. She thought that would be her last day, but something happened, started changing her views. She was confused when Issei dropped out of Balance Breaker. Tiamat, I do not wish to fight you. There is a reason I came to seek you out, Issei said suddenly. Tiamat didn't think this would happen. She didn't understand exactly what he wanted, but she could tell he was being truthful, so she halted her guard. Continue, Tiamat said cautiously. I'm sure you noticed, besides dragon boosted gear, I have something else, something ancient and powerful. You're a dragon after all, Issei spoke. That's exactly when Tiamat's eyes widened. She didn't dare say his name. If it was true that this boy had him, he could annihilate anyone in his path. Just what did he want? That's what exactly was running through her mind all at once. She dared to speak it, though. Bahamut, she spoke. It was a whisper laced with grave terror. I can see your worries. Her fears were correct. Oh, shit. Her fears were correct when she saw him grin. I can see your worries. You don't have to fear me. In fact, I want you to join me, Issei said with a smile. Explain, Tiamat said, shocked. You were correct when you thought Bahamut. You see, a little while ago, I was betrayed by most of the 3 factions. I thought my friends were my friends and loved ones. Long story short, I ended up purging my evil pieces, and I died. But Bahamut gave me a second chance, but it came at a cost. Put the dragons back on top, and teach the 3 factions a lesson. Essentially, I'm creating a dragon faction. That's why I want you on my side. Gonna be gathering more dragons from around the world, Issei explained. Tiamat was silent for a good bit, most likely thinking it over. It was better to get on his good side. Very well. I would join you, Issei Hyodo, Tiamat said finally. Cleaning my glasses, I can't see. That's when a blue light started glowing around her. Soon she felt that light expand and cover the whole forest, similar to how Issei was when he went into Balance Breaker. Soon after the light died down, a 6-foot-tall woman took its place. She had sapphire blue hair flowing beautifully down her shoulders. She had crystal clear ocean colored eyes, and she was wearing a brilliant light blue dress that flowed past her knees. She was also had a diamond necklace wrapped around her neck. This was Tiamat in her human form. Even Issei couldn't deny her beauty. Rainier and Calwayner felt a little jealous after seeing the dragon's human form. Issei started to stare at her as he felt an endless wave of emotion he didn't understand. He saw Tiamat smirking as she noticed him eyeing her like a piece of candy. Like what you see? Tiamat teased him. Bahamut? Drag, what did I just feel right now? Asked Issei to the dragons in his head. You just battled with a powerful opponent. Now that she is on your side, your dragon's instincts are telling you to make her yours and mate, Bahamut explained, amused as well. Issei groaned after hearing this. What he says is true. It will come to happen. It will all worsen. It will worsen until it was resolved by the only way you can. That is the dragon blood calling out to you. Think of it as like a heat phase, Dragaddon. Issei shook his head and decided to cross that bridge when time came. After all, there were more pressing matters to deal with. Okay, guys, what to do now? Issei said to his group. Alright. Oh, fuck. Okay, guys, you know what to do now, Issei said to his group. Yes, replied Donaseek. Fallen dragons turn... Fuck. Fallens turn dragons, huh? Tiamat mused. Okay, Tiamat. Go with them to our temporary living quarters. I'm going to talk to a friend to help us out with a new place to stay. We did just get back from the afterlife. We took the Well of Souls and returned a week ago. Issei explained. She nodded her head, and the four of them disappeared in a magic circle and headed back towards the church, leaving Issei to himself. He then focused on finding the right energy signature he was looking for and found it. He quickly made a magic circle and stepped through it. He, he stepped As he stepped out, he saw a big white mansion in the clearing of a forest, clearly off the map so no one would bother the residents. Issei started walking towards the door, finally rang the doorbell after reaching it. The person who opened it who was beyond shocked, clearly astonished by his appearance. Issei smirked and spoke. Valley, we need to talk. That is it for Chapter 7, A New Recruit. This is Chapter 8, A New Location and a Message. Just give me 1 second. The moment she saw him, her eyes widened to saucers as she looked at her rival. She was clearly not expecting him to show up at all. But here he was, a mere foot in front of her. She had no idea what to expect. She could feel his power growing by the moment. She didn't know why, too. She could feel the magic power in him slowly but surely. Build, slowly but surely. She composed herself and spoke. Hyodo, why are you here? Asked Valley, confused. She was also trembling inside like nothing she'd ever felt before, due to the fact he could obliterate everyone in her mansion if he wanted to. But something told her that he wasn't here for that. Valley, we need to talk, responded Issei casually. That surprised her. She didn't feel any lies or malice in his words, so she assumed he was here on friendly business. So she sighed and stepped inside, ushered him in. He walked in normally and took a look around her mansion. He hadn't really had the chance to see it before. He looked around to see Kuroko, LaFay, Byoko, and Arthur looking at him suspiciously. He understood why they were on edge. No doubt the news of what happened traveled fast. It was only natural that they were a bit scared and on defense the moment he entered the room. He sat and spoke to them. He needed to calm them down before he would explain what he was there for and what it could mean for them. You guys don't have to worry. I'm not here to harm you guys. It's quite the opposite, actually, Issei spoke aloud. Once they heard that, they settled down a little bit, but their nerves were still on edge. They were also confused about the last bit. Even Valley raised an eyebrow. She then spoke. Okay, what do you want? Issei sighed and sat down on the couch he was standing by. The 5 others in the room sat as well, but the guards were still up. Okay, first, do you guys know the full story? Issei asked. The 5 of them looked at each other quickly. They weren't expecting him to act like this. He was known as the perverted boy who could be serious about a lot of stuff. But the Issei they were standing in front of was completely different. They wondered what happened to cause such change in the boy's personality. Since he asked if they knew the full story, they assumed it was the worst than what the devil said. No, we don't really know the full story. We were told by the princess that you wanted out of the peerage and you died after they ejected them. But I'm guessing that was a lie, and it was different from what they said, Valerie responded. Issei scoffed and accidentally let his fire bike a bit, making Arthur, Biak, and Baiko go on edge, while the three girls were blushing and panting. Issei saw this and quickly brought his power back down to scale. If only it was that easy. Hell, no it ain't. The truth is that I was only useful to them for a little while. After I saved that bitch of a princess from a arranged marriage and beat Kokopil, they decided they didn't need me anymore. Like I was a tool disposed of when it was old. Issei spat. Now the whole group's expression flipped. Eyes went wide at his words. Now they understood why he was as he was now. Valley still wondered about his new power. That's when I ejected my pieces and I died. I woke up in what you could call purgatory. Bahamut brought me and gave me a choice to come back, but it came with a cost. The three factions were in need of a reality check. The dragon faction would be rebuilt, Issei explained. So how powerful are you? Kuroka suddenly asked. She had a playful grin on her face. Everyone else everyone Everyone else had that question in their heads. Issei did have an eyebrow raised for a moment before he spoke. Bahamut stands both. Bahamut stands above both Ophis and the Great Red. Combined with Drag, it's more like. It's just more. It is just more like Albion said before. My power is beyond. Is beyond. But even those two could give me trouble if both Ouroboros and Red came at me. I would have a problem. Even Great Red could be a bit for me alone. Most of my power will soon settle so I can use it better, Issei explained. I can't speak today. Holy shit. He was silent for a moment, letting this sink into their minds. All of their eyes widened as they understood what he meant. But they were standing in front of they were standing in front of the most powerful being. But he wasn't attacking, so they're a little calm in front of him. Biko suddenly spoke. So what do you want? Biko asked. He had a little edge in his tone. Issei sighed, stood up, and looked at each of them in the eyes. For the next sentence he uttered would open the door for them, but they wouldn't have to accept it on their own. He couldn't force them, and he wouldn't. As his eyes met each other's, he felt nervousness behind each of the gaze he had locked. I came here for a proposition for you guys. It is your choice to accept it or not, Issei replied. The eyebrows raised as they wondered what he was going to offer. Issei turned to Vali and spoke. What I have to offer is you guys becoming a part of my group. In exchange, you'll let us move in. You see, I'm running out of time, and I need a solution before it happens, Issei spoke. What do you mean? Who's all with you? Vali asked curiously. Everyone else was wondering it too. Was there something else going on behind the scenes within that they didn't know about? If so, what was it and why? Vali's questions were also sparked something thinking between the group as well. She accepted his offer who would be moving in with them, for they didn't know who they would have to wait to be revealed. Currently, I have Tiamat, the Dragon King, and three fallen angels. Renair, Kalwinair, and Donasik. About it. Well, let's just say my body is currently going under evolution, Issei spoke. That's putting it lightly, partner. Drag suddenly spoke aloud. The whole group was surprised at the Welsh dragon voice rang out of the green light that appeared on Issei's hand. Drag? Issei muttered. The Welsh dragon. Biko muttered. Makes me hot, yeah, Kuroka purred with a slight blush while rubbing her legs. Red one, Albion spoke aloud, letting him know of his presence. Valley turned around to see her dividing wings released. She was confused, but her mind was on something else entirely. What did he mean by evolution, and why did Dreg say that was putting it lightly? For all these questions he would answer he would answer them. What evolution are you going through? Vali asked. The rest of them wanted to know that too. Issei was about to speak before a blood red light appeared on his right hand, illuminating the room. With quite the amount of pressure, Bahamut spoke with each voice packed with power. Issei is currently going under a very special kind of evolution. His body is adapting to his new power, literally. He's going through what you could say stage 2 of the 4 stages of his evolution. At first, his energy reserves needed to increase, which they did, as you can tell. Next, his senses will evolve, becoming exponentially more powerful. Then his body will literally rip itself apart as it rebuilds every part of his body that into a dragon. Finally, he will go through into a full dragon form before reverting back to his human form. Bahamut spoke, each word laced with power that flowed through the room as he spoke aloud. They were not expecting Bahamut to speak, and when he did, they felt like shivers they had never felt before, like they had never felt before crawl down their spines as each word flowed out of him. So your evolution, that's your evolution. That's what you're going through, Valley muttered. Yes, as you can see the situation. Now you can see the situation. I need a place to stay. You were the first person that came to mind. You see, I have a feeling it won't be easy just to rise to the top. I need allies, people who can hold their own against a tough foe, Issei spoke. The whole group was silent about this before anyone spoke up. Valley was clearly surprised at what she was told. She had no idea what was going on right now. She was truly saddened by the new information her group had received firsthand by Issei. Everyone else felt the same. Even anger was rising in the girls, especially Kuroka. She always thought the Shiron wouldn't have a heart for betraying and leaving someone alone. So what do you guys say? Want to work together and rise to the top? Issei offered with a grin. Hook, line, and sinker. Instantly all of their heads nodded as they knew it would be different. All right, we accept your offer, Valley replied happily. Great, okay, then I will go grab my group and be back here shortly, Issei spoke before standing up. Okay, we will see you when you come back, Valley waved as he walked out of the mansion. As he left, a conversation started brewing among the 5 at the mansion. To think he went through all of that and he's still going headstrong. I can see why Bahamut chose him, to have such a strong will after a harsh revelation. Baiko spoke up. No doubt. I didn't think my sister Shiron had it in her to be that cruel, Kuroka added seriously. She didn't even use her trademark Nia at the end. And he's completely serious about his goals as well. You could see the fire and determination in his eyes. I can tell he won't stop until it's done, Valley added. No doubt. At first, when I saw him, I didn't really think much of him. But I could tell he would do anything for his friends and family, and even going to hell and back. Now he had a goal and a reason to keep, that would keep reminding him until the day he finishes what he needs to, Bayako added. I wonder about his group, though. Tiamat, Issei, Dragon King, and 3 fallen angels, Arthur added. We'll see them when they get here, brother, Lefay spoke up. She is right. We will meet them when they get here, Kuroka spoke. Hopefully they're strong, Valley muttered. She really wanted to spar against Issei and his group. There's no doubt about in my mind that they are strong. If they came back from hell and they had to be able to hold their own, Arthur. But how did he come back from hell, Lefay asked. She had never heard from anyone coming back from the land of the dead. There's the legend that there's a place in Hades' realm called the Well of Souls, supposedly linked between the 2 worlds. If someone were to enter the well, they would come back to the world of the living. If he didn't go through that, then his group is strong. If he did go through that, then his group is strong. Rumor is that it's guarded by some of Hades' strongest minions, Arthur spoke. I've heard of that legend as well. Azazel had a ton of books, and it was in one of them, Valley mused. As the group continued to talk about Issei and his new group, they wondered how it would end up, but they knew there was no going back. Scene break. Issei's location. Issei teleported back to Kuo. He arrived right in front of the church. He felt 4 energy signatures from inside the church. He didn't know why he could sense the energies around, but he could feel it as well, each pulse of power emitting from them. That is your senses starting to evolve. Usually it's the energy detection that increases first, then your normal senses after that, hearing, sight, and the others. Bahamut spoke in his mind, answering the question. Bahamut, about my evolution, the final part you said. I will go into a full dragon form and revert back to human. Will it happen as soon as I wake up from my slumber? Issei asked, confused. No, it won't happen right after you wake from your slumber. Once your body is changed from the third stage, it will require a couple of hours for the required energy to build up so the transformation can start. But Hamid answered him. With Issei With that, Issei nodded and walked towards the church doors. He opened it and met with 4 curious looks. So this is where you guys stayed? Tiamat spoke with a laughing out loud. So did you get us a better place? Kalwerner added. Yes, I did, Issei replied happily. That he was happy to get out of the church. Where? Tiamat asked curiously. Everyone else was wondering the same. My rival, Valley Lucifer, happened to have a mansion that we can use. Our group will join ours, Issei replied. Did you say Lucifer? Tiamat asked seriously. Lucifer, as in the Lucifer, Seek asked astonished. Yes, Lucifer. She is the granddaughter of the super devil Ivan Lucifer. That's a fucking mouthful. And hosts the vanishing dragon, Issei replied. To think someone with that bloodline would have Albion. Wait, that means she is a half-breed? Rainier asked curiously. Yes, she is. You know how devils are about purebloods, and she didn't get along with her grandfather, Issei responded. They all nodded. Everyone in the supernatural knew how stuck up and stubborn the devils were about heritage and pureblood lineage. So let's go already. I want to get out of this dump. Donaseek spoke. Everyone else wanted out as well. Issei smirked and nodded as they started to make a transport circle. Soon, the 5 of them jumped in, leaving the church forever. As they appeared in front of the mansion, they were astonished with the size of the building they would be staying in. You weren't kidding when you said she had a mansion, Donaseek muttered. What do you expect? She is a Lucifer. Tiamat spoke. That's when the door opened, revealing Valley and her group who were looking at the people Issei brought. So this is them? Valley asked. Yes, Tiamat, the Chaos Karma Dragon King, Rainier, Kalwainer, and Donaseek, Issei responded. There was something bothering Valley. The 3 fallen angels had the unmistakable scent of a dragon. Are they part dragon? Valley asked, confused. Yes, I turned them into a dragon, Issei responded. How? Kuroka asked curiously. No one had any idea of how he did it either, not even Valley. That's when Bahamut spoke. It is called Dragon's Essence. You could say it was the life force of a dragon. I drew it out of my new host and turned them into dragons, Bahamut explained. Once everyone heard his voice, they flinched. Even Tiamat didn't expect the Annihilation Dragon would speak to them. But she was wrong. She still felt the power that was etched into the voice coming out of his right hand. Everyone else could feel it as well. Alright, you guys settle in. I have some business to attend to, Issei spoke. What business? Rainier asked. The whole group was wondering the exact same thing. They all looked to Issei for an answer. Gonna pay Azazel a little visit and teach him a lesson, Issei spoke. Now that surprised everyone. He was already focused on sending the 3 factions a message, and Azazel would be the one to deliver it, even if he didn't know how. What are you gonna do? Valley asked curiously. She still liked Azazel a lot, since he was pretty much a second father to her. Don't worry, I'm not gonna kill him. Just give him a little warning shot, Issei said vaguely. Okay then, hurry up and come back quick, since the moment after you enter the Grigori, they will know who you are and what you are there for. No doubt the word will spread like wildfire, Valley spoke. Issei nodded and teleported away. He found himself in front of an old rundown building. This was definitely the Grigori headquarters, even if it didn't look like it. So he walked up to the door, but was stopped by a guard above him at his post. Halt right there. This is private property. Turn around and you will not be harmed. This made Issei scoffed as he summoned a small sphere of annihilation and threw it at the door. Blowing at the front of the building, Issei walked in calmly and spoke. I have no quarrel with you people. I have only came here for your boss, Azazel, who made a very bad decision and now must pay for it, Issei spoke. But they weren't moving. That's when a few cadre classes tried to attack them. Issei saw this coming and quickly dodged and punched each one of them in the gut, incapacitating them. After that, no one dared move. Issei walked forward to where Azazel was, and no one dared stop him. The moment he arrived at the door to his office, he kicked it in, revealing a very shocked and troubled Azazel. You know, you could have avoided this if you just told me you were planning on you could have avoided this if you just told me what the others were planning. But no, you had to leave me in the dark wondering what was going on, only to be thrown out by the people I thought cared about me. Now your time has come, Azazel. Issei spoke powerfully. Issei, please, I'm sorry. Azazel pleaded. I don't give two shits about your excuses, Issei spoke. Then he grabbed him by the neck and lifted him into the air. Dreg, 20 boosts into my legs, Issei told the dragon. Roger, Dreg explained. Azazel now was beyond fear. He was completely terrified of Issei's new power that he was going to experience firsthand. What happened to the others who deceived him? Boost 20. As soon as the deafening call was echoed through the room, Azazel knew it was no use. There was no way to stop him. He would do what he wanted and wouldn't take shit from anyone anymore. He feared for his life, but little did he know Issei wasn't going to kill him. That's when a 20-fold power kick was sent straight into Azazel's balls, and Issei dropped him as Azazel fell into the floor in agony. He never felt so much pain before. Issei stared down at the fallen man, having no regrets as he walked out of the office, leaving the gory in complete chaos. Issei thought about what he was going to do about heaven. He didn't really have any beef with them, but they still need to be dealt with. He looked up at the sky, wondering what future had for him in his new group. Well, that is it. That is Chapter 7. A new location and a message. I hope you guys did enjoy. Issei fucking roundhouse kicked Azazel in the dick. But we all knew something like that was coming to him. If you guys did enjoy, as always, like, subscribe, maybe a comment. Comments are very grateful. I love when people can give feedback about what I can do better. But I hope you guys did enjoy. And that is it. Signing off for now. Goodbye.